Hey, I am Hellena Dior, author of No Longer Sharecropping Shame, founder of Helen's Help Center, and I help others shine their light by transitioning hate to hope and experiences to enlightenment. I am a survivor of childhood trauma and abuse, and I help others coping with and healing from such a life. So, I know everybody's like on the 2020 post real hard, like all the things that people are anticipating in terms of like their vision and what they want for the year. And I think that's great. I think that's really great. Like, we should go into things anticipating and expecting good and greatness and just prosperity and abundance. And 2019 was rough, and it was rough for a lot of people I know. It was difficult, but 2019 was also something I feel like had to happen in order for everything to align the way it should for the future. If certain things that happened in 2019 didn't happen, I know for sure I would not be where I am now, I would not be on the path I'm headed on now, I would not be striving, anticipating. I wouldn't even be thinking certain things were possible if 2019 never happened. So I'm thankful. I'm thankful it happened, but then it's still like, my God, like I'm still having to readjust and heal and just come to terms with 2019 as a whole. I had a lot of loss. Like, the year started off with loss, the year ended with loss. I have, like most people who know me knows that I lost somebody like extremely close, like someone I love dearly, in March of 2019, and that was rough. That's still hard. That's still hard. I don't know if that would ever be easy, if I'll ever get over his passing or the way it happened or the lack of closure or just that empty feeling that comes with thinking of the time spent together and the potential that that person had, and just the whole missing part. Not that, death is hard in terms of like leaving Earth. That's not a bad thing at all, especially if you know where you're going. I don't feel like that's bad at all. Like, at all. I heard someone say, well, actually, like, one of my pastors, he said that people cry at funerals and they celebrate at baby showers, but it should probably be the opposite. You should cry at baby showers and celebrate at funerals, because life is hard. When a child is born, like, you already know everything that kid's going to come up against. It's not going to be easy. Life is not going to be easy. But when you know and you're secure with your spirituality and you're secure with who you are as a person, and you know God the way you should, and you know where you're going, you know that things on the other side of this are not this, like, that there's peace, and it's good. It's to be celebrated. But with that being said, I don't think that we're put here to suffer either. I don't think we're put here to not have peace and not have just that spiritual feeling of comfort or anything. Like, it's not supposed to feel bad. It's not supposed to feel bad. And I think that we have grown accustomed to negative, and we've grown accustomed to expecting the worst. And I am guilty of that. I can be in a situation that is absolutely perfect, and I am sitting there waiting for the other shoe to drop. I'm waiting for something to be revealed or found out or whatever, instead of just enjoying the moment and enjoying the possibility that it could be good. It doesn't always have to be bad, but I think I've just grown so accustomed to expecting the worst that when the worst doesn't come, I feel like it's not right. That if it's too good to be true, that is too good to be true. But it's all lessons learned. It's all for our good. It's for my good. It's for my purpose. Like, nothing happens that God doesn't allow to happen in my life. And as long as I stick to that, I'm good. I'm good. And I've lost, like, in terms of people in my life. I've lost, people to death. I've lost people just to the end of certain friendships and relationships. And at first, that was a tough pill to swallow. It was really hard because when someone's in your life, you don't really anticipate, well, I don't really anticipate that person just like not being in my life anymore. I'm not a person who expects people to just be there temporarily, but I was talking to my beautiful aunt today, my Aunt Rory, and just about the year, about life, and she told me that, sometimes God closes a door and we try to keep it open. And I think that was me with a lot of relationships and a lot of friendships. Like, God was clearly closing certain doors and I tried to keep them open. I put my foot in that door trying to keep it open instead of just letting him be God and close that door. So once the doors were closed and once those relationships ended and once I didn't feel a certain obligation to certain people, like, no lie, I instantly felt lighter. Initially, it was tough, maybe for like 6 hours. And then I just looked at the situation from a different perspective. I looked at the times in those relationships and friendships where I gave all of me, literally all of me, and got nothing in return, and I wasn't doing it for anything in return. But then when you look back at certain things and you see how you were used or how someone hurt you, and you just kind of, or I keep saying you, I just kind of like look past it, like, oh, well, that's not it. Like, try to convince myself otherwise, when looking back at it now, it was clear, very clear, crystal clear of what was happening, how it was happening, when it was happening. But at the time, I just couldn't see it. I was just holding on to something that I believed was there that wasn't there. So even with that, like, everybody can't come. Everybody can't come as we grow. Everybody can't come as we advance through life. And just knowing that, holding on to that as being a fact and not just something people say. Everybody can't come, and I don't want everybody to come. I only want people to come that are going to pour good into me and not try to drain me of all that is me. People who will hold me accountable, people who will tell me the truth, but people who are not going to try to impose their negativity and impose just, like, misery loves company. There's nothing more real than that. Like, misery loves company. And even when you don't want to be the company, they still try to make it where it's like you don't have a choice. Like, you have to come along for the ride. And I'm not with that. So, and then I had a dog. I got her 4 years ago. Twinkle. I got Twinkle when Twinkle was like, I think 4 weeks. And it was like the same year I bought my house. Like a month after that, my daughter, I told her, like, once I bought a house, I'd get her a dog. And I got her Twinkle like a month after we moved in. And Twinkle, she was a Westie Chihuahua, super cute. And it was my daughter's dog, but you already know how that is. That's my dog. Like, it was hers until it was time to clean up or do something with Twinkle, but that was my dog. Like, I love Twinkle, like, so much. And I used to say all the time, like, I enjoy Twinkle more than I do some people. And it's still true, because people disappoint you. And, like, if you're not a dog lover or whatever, then sorry for you, because dogs are amazing. And I'm not one of those people who it's like, oh my gosh, like, dogs' lives are more valuable than people, and upset because someone killed a dog. And, not that I wouldn't be upset that someone killed a dog, but I'm not a person who holds animals' lives over people who are upset, like, with the whole Michael Vick thing. Like, oh yeah, Michael Vick, he did this and that. Not saying what he did was good, but people, like, literally are getting shot in their houses eating ice cream. So, yes, dogs are great, but that's completely off topic. Anyway, Twinkle, I love her. Like, that's my dog. That's, like, the love you get from an animal is unconditional. It's unwavering. It doesn't change. It's, you know what to expect. Even when I would get on Twinkle for doing something wrong, she might be mad at me for 10 minutes, but she'll be all right. She's coming back. She was loyal. She was sweet. She was great. I went out of town in November, and I left Twinkle with someone, and while I was gone, got a call that Twinkle was missing, and then later got a call that Twinkle, they found her on the side of the road and she had been hit by a car. And so, like, that loss, I can't even like explain it. I can't explain it. Like, no one can tell me that, like, oh yeah, it was just a dog. And you can't tell me that. That was my dog. That dog knew me. That dog understood me. That dog, like, she was good. She was good, and she was mine. So, like, not having her as I go into the new year, like, it's not something like I expect to have to like even process until like Twinkle was like 16, 17. I didn't think like at 4 I'm gonna go out of town and come back and my dog is gone. It doesn't make sense. It still doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense at all. So my heart is like, it hurts. It hurts. It does. It hurts. I miss her so much. Like, just like the daily routine of me being able, like, just to know she's there, to know that she's there. Like, just to be able to see her. And it was like the one consistent thing I had after, besides my daughter, of course. But like, after the hurricane came and it took our house, it took everything that we have, it took everything that I had. When we evacuated, like, it was me, Naima, and Twinkle. We left. When it's time for us to come back, it's me, Naima, and Twinkle. The whole time, me, Naima, and Twinkle. So now, like, things are shifting and then transitioning, and all these plans that I've made are about to come to fruition. All these plans that God has for me are about to come into fruition, and it's just me and Naima. So it just doesn't even feel right. It doesn't feel right, but I just have to trust and believe there's a reason for it. But it hurts like crazy. It hurts like hell. Like, my heart, when I think about her, it hurts. And I don't know. There's a reason for it. I don't believe that these things happen without reason. I don't believe they happen just to happen out of coincidence or anything else. So I just have to walk in faith and not in fear, and not waiting for things to fall apart, not waiting for lives to end or to leave my life, but just walk in faith and trust that everything it's already preordained. Like, in the end, I win. So it's like I'm working from like the end of a story instead of me walking through the story. When I look at stuff like that, it makes things make so much more sense. So all these things have to happen in order for me to reach the end I'm supposed to reach. So I feel like it was a ramble. I just feel like I haven't made a video in a while, and it's just seeing how things all tie into each other, and how people enter your life and how people exit your life, and just the effects that has on you after, the effects it has on your spirit and on your mental state and on your ability to maintain connections and establish connections. Like, it's all tied into each other. People don't give it enough credit. People don't give anything enough credit, actually. It's just like what's tangible or what's negative or it's materialistic, and the emphasis that should be placed on our spirits and our hearts and our everything that's overlooked, all that good stuff that's inside of us that we overlook. The emphasis was placed on that instead of like a checklist, like, I have a house, I have a car, I have a degree, I have this, I have that, I have this. But you have no peace. You are not happy. You are miserable. And your misery, as much as you try to paint that smile on your face, misery rubs off on people. I don't care what nobody says. Like, you're around miserable people all the time, you will be miserable. And if I have to take myself out of everything, or if God has to remove people out of my life and I have to be by myself, with myself, in myself, in order to not be miserable, in order to maintain a sense of peace and a sense of happiness, then so be it. Because it feels so much better than being stuck around people who are just mean, like just plain mean. Like, misery does not make you nice. It does not make you kind. It doesn't matter how much you pretend. It doesn't matter how much you try to be like this fake religious person. Real you shines through. It don't matter. Like, it does not matter how much church you try to put on it. It doesn't matter how much judgment you try to put on other people. You still shine through, and you're seen. You're seen. You're seen for the fraud that you are, the miserable fraud that you are. And I don't want to be that person. So if people have to leave, so be it. Because I'm not going to spend the time that I have on this earth knowing literally like the next second of the next minute is not promised. I'm not going to spend any of that time living for anybody else. Like, I did that for so long. I lived for other people forever, for years upon years. I lived for other people, wondering if, I can't do this because I'm gonna upset that person, or I can't move here because I have to make sure this person's okay. I can't do this. Like, I'm not doing that no more. As long as I feel in my spirit that that's what I'm supposed to do, as long as I feel in my spirit that that's what God has okayed and told me to do, or it's aligned with my purpose on this earth, I'm doing it. I don't care who doesn't like it. I don't care who has what to say about it, because I only have to answer to God. Everybody else, y'all are circumstantial, as mean as that sounds. Love you anyway. But no, I spent way too much time. I lost so many minutes and hours and seconds off of my life. Years from my life were spent living for other people who are nowhere to be found now. Who, when things hit the fan and I can't just give everything I have to you anymore, or I can't just be everything for everybody else, when those instances happen, when those occurrences happen, watch how quickly you wind up by yourself. Just watch. Just pay attention to it. Watch how quick that happens, because it's going to happen so fast. Like, it blows your mind. The fact that I was like everything for everybody else, and then when you need somebody, they're not there. So, best thing to do is to get acquainted and to love to learn and appreciate and grow within yourself, and stop leaving that for other people to do for you. Stop leaving the acceptance and the acknowledgement of you. Stop leaving that to other people. Like, it's not for other people, it's for you. It's for you. You accept you, you love you, you know everything you're doing, like God has put it in your spirit. It doesn't matter what everyone else is going to think, because they're always going to have something to say. And if they don't have anything to say, then it means you're not doing something right, because that's what critics are for. That's what they're for. They're not there to criticize you. Like, constructive criticism is great, but the critics who just sit back and hate, they're not there to criticize you because they're concerned or because they want to make you feel bad. People criticize you because they can't do what you're doing. People criticize you because they can't move like you move. They can't think like you think. They're just there. So let them stay where they're at. All right. That's it. I'm cold now anyway. So, peace and blessings.